So as part of the winter retreat, I've been spending some time on the four measurables in the sadhana. And what I really enjoy in the medicine Buddha practice is that it has the extended version of the four measurables, where it transforms each of the four lines into four parts. So there's the immeasurable wish, there's the aspiration, the determination, and then the inspiration, or the request for inspiration. So as opposed to just saying, may all beings have happiness in its causes, it's how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings had happiness in its causes. May they have this, I shall cause them to have this. Guru Medicine Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Yeah, and so I find that this really fleshes out what bodhicitta means, makes it more tangible for me, and also raises some big questions as well. If I'm saying that I'm going to establish all sentient beings with happiness in its causes, what am I committing to? And so with this question, particularly looking at immeasurable happiness and immeasurable compassion, I've been asking, like, what does it mean to establish all sentient beings with happiness and its causes? And I've been coming back to one of the four aspects of karma, in that all virtue, all happiness comes from virtue, and all suffering comes from non-virtue. And so that I'm committing to establishing all sentient beings to help them engage in virtue, and to help them refrain from engaging in non-virtue. And that's a tall order for someone who's not quite there yet myself. And that's why we determined to become a Buddha. But it also asked me, like, how can I make this tangible and real for myself right now? And then to see how small positive actions done with a good intention can actually have really big impacts on others, those around us. And I've heard many people here share stories about how their commitment to, say, protecting life or to not killing has really affected others in their lives. One thing that stands out to me, I think, is Venerable Sampton's story about how when she started saving little bugs in the house, and as opposed to killing them but taking them outside or protecting them, that affected her sister. And then her sister then went to her workplace and affected those people there. That's at least how I recall it. And for myself, I went vegetarian a while ago to protect life. And one of my close friends, poked fun, made fun, kind of saying, he's from a culture that eating meat was a big part of way of life. But over a few years, I didn't push it. I was just, doing my thing. But we had some conversations, and we also shared values of non-harm and non-violence. We're involved in political groups, so committed to non-violence and to actualizing peace and different things. So we shared these values. And through his own inclination towards virtue and to the conversations we had, he made the decision to become vegetarian. And these might seem like small things, but they're not, because how many lives are saved by one person not killing the insects in their house? And how many lives are saved by someone not choosing to eat meat and not contributing to that supply and demand about wanting to purchase meat, or saying that they're no longer going to go to that yearly, monthly, or weekly fishing or hunting trip with their friends? How many lives are saved? And it extends beyond just this one life too, in terms of karma expands. So the habits that we are forming in this life and then inspiring that in others stretches out far beyond just this life, but in rather creating potential, others creating their own potential to have this inclination towards virtue in all future lives as well. And then so seeing that, as Geshe Take has been reminding us every time he started a course, at least while I've been here, about how refraining from the 10 non-virtues is just the foundation of our practice and the foundation of everything good. And that this is, a cause of happiness. And then in that same vein then, to really connect with how keeping our precepts as purely as possible is a way also to establish others in happiness and its causes, both immediately in terms of not engaging in behavior that disturbs them, but also in long term by being a role model in terms of being that white crow that signals a different way of moving in the world. Through pure ethical conduct, and how that does influence those that engage with us and inspire them to do the same. And then looking at compassion has been interesting, just to see how misguided I've been, or how solid I've been holding certain things. And I think that I've been seeing that wishing others to be free of suffering and its causes, I've been looking at it in terms of, well, I take this bad quality or this bad situation or this bad behavior away from that person, but they're still them. This was kind of this solid entity that I see in a certain way due to how I perceive them, being like kind of in a defined box. But it's not like that. Whereas we change one aspect of a person, everything else changes because that quality of them exists in relation to everything else. And so looking at compassion, I've had to ask myself, like, how solidly am I holding others? Do I actually see that they are capable of becoming Buddha themselves? Um, yeah, that they can, through the gradual elimination of all negative qualities and then the gradual development of all positive qualities, that they can become a wish-fulfilling jewel for all sentient beings. And they can eventually have immeasurable, limitless love, compassion, wisdom, and a mind that is not obstructed from knowing anything, and in that way can help others attain freedom themselves. Do I see that? And if not, why? Like when I look at each and every one of you, do I see that in you, your wish-fulfilling jewelness, your potential? And if not, why? What is distracting me from that? What dualistic thinking is getting in the way where I have certain judgments or assessments or opinions? And how does that affect my mind? How does that affect your mind by the way that I treat you and how you react to how I treat you? And so on. And would it be more beneficial if I came back to the four immeasurables? And I think this is the power of, in each sadhana or in each session, we imagine all sentient beings transforming into Buddhas. This is planting seeds again and again to see like things don't exist as they appear. This person isn't fixed in how I see them, but they rather have this huge potential. And can I open to that? So I found, these four measurables very helpful to point out my blind spots, to see where I need to grow, and to present a very vast vision that's quite beautiful, and that's been helpful to familiarize my mind with. And may we, as the retreat progresses, find out inspiration in different parts of the sadhana and use that to really transform our minds.